Hello everyone. I'm Derek Lewis. I know most of you. Um, I wrote my white paper on alternative fuels in the automobile and motorsports industries, and so I decided to focus on for my presentation on the topic of electric vehicles. So, what are electric vehicles? Um, Electric vehicles are vehicles that are run by an electric motor, most oftenly powered by a battery um, that stores energy, which is transferred to the engine. Um, Electric vehicles are the current choice by most for the future of transportation technology. A lot of vehicles, buses, lots of things of that sort are transferring over to um, electric vehicles for use. Um, Almost all major car manufacturers have some sort of electric car option. Chevy has the Volt, Nissan has the Leaf, Tesla is a big player in the automobile industry right now because of their electric vehicles. Hybrid vehicles also fall in the electric umbrella and have been around a lot longer than straight electric vehicles have been recently. Um, in fact, year-over-year growth of both electric and hybrid vehicles is quite large, growing almost a whole percentage of total used car sale or total car sales every single year. Going from about 1% in 2014 up to I think we're at almost 6% of new cars are either electric or hybrid. So some history of electric vehicles. The very first cars are actually ran on electric engines. Um, One of the major competitor to Ford back in the early 1900s was the Edison Electric Car Company. And up to the 1930s, electric cars were used on the road before kind of going extinct for a while or going into hibernation. Um, they didn't come back in large part until the late 1990s, early 2000s. Electric cars still make up about 2% of new car sales. Hybrids are closer to 3, um, but still have a lot to go before they are the major vehicle option in the United States. So, electric cars and motorsports. I talk a lot in my white paper about how motorsports are the, kind of barometer for the future of the automobile industry. Um, Kind of where motorsports goes, automobiles tend to follow. It's a big part to do with the manufacturer involvement um, of manufacturer of automobiles in the motorsports industry, obviously. Formula E, this car up in the top left, um, has been an active series since 2014, racing open wheel pure electric vehicles. Um, Very interesting series. When it first started, they had to change cars in the middle of the series because batteries didn't last long enough. They recently switched away from that, where now they um, go one race on a single charge. However, hybrid technology is huge in motorsports. Um, Formula One, IndyCar, WEC, which is the World Endurance Championship, um, all use hybrid drivetrains. Well, IndyCar is not yet. Starting in 2023, IndyCar will start using a hybrid drivetrain. NASCAR is looking at using a hybrid drivetrain starting in 2025. Um, yeah, so I think motorsports is kind of the era where we're going. I think we'll see a huge transition to all hybrid before we go to all electric of some other sort. Um, yeah. Also, hybrids are probably the fastest type around the road course, the fastest car around the road course right now, due to the high torque at low revolutions because of the electric battery, but the increased torque at higher revolutions from the internal combustion engine. So, a little bit of chemistry, just a little bit. Um, originally, uh, the original electric vehicles were lead acid batteries, using a lead anode, kind of sulfide electrolytes, um, and yeah. But they had a lot of problems. Lead's a very heavy metal, and the sulfite would crystallize on the anode of the battery, and be kind of non-soluble in the electrolyte, so it would, kind of lose charge over time. It would eventually completely cover the anode and be completely useless. You probably see this a lot if you uh, current batteries in electric or in ICE cars are lead acid batteries. Um, if you have an older car or an older battery, look at your battery and the anode's going to be covered with, some kind of chalky material. That's the sulfate crystallization. Currently, they use lithium-ion batteries. Lithium is a much lighter metal, and the lithium graphite anode holds a lot more electrolytes than the um, anodes that were used with the lead acid battery. Here's a little. I just had anode and cathode completely backwards. Sorry. So some problems with electric vehicles. Battery lifespan. Battery lifespan may not last as long as internal combustion engine cars tend to last. Tesla says they're rated up to 200,000 miles, but um, there aren't many Teslas that have gone that far yet. So I guess we'll see eventually. Especially compared to a lot of people. A lot of people tend to trade it in their ICE car around that time, but there are lots of stories of ICE cars going 2-3 million miles, million miles. The vehicles are much heavier due to heavy batteries. This can cause increased maintenance on the roads, things of that sort. Uh, so the power for the battery comes from the electric grid, which is run by fossil fuels in much of America. I have a little meme here about, people feel so dirty for driving a diesel car, but an electric car charged by, a coal power plant is just fine, right? Um, and battery recycling is kind of costly, dangerous, and not very environmentally friendly for, how environmentally friendly electric vehicles are purported to be. So there's my presentation on electric vehicles. Oops, got to pause.